What's up, YouTube? My name is Brent, and this is For the XP, and I am the Dungeon Master of the group. Today we're going to talk about the overall aftershock of the success of dungeon tubing and D&D Twitch streamers. More specifically, I would like to talk about Critical Role, and and specifically Matthew Mercer's "How do you want to do this?" trope. It's quite amazing to me that how huge that's become. Over the past few months since I started watching Critical Role back in October, and I started getting into online Dungeons and Dragons playing, whenever I'd go looking for a group through Roll20 forums or any other forums alike, I would often see players requesting a group and that the DM specifically use "How do you want to do this?" which blows my mind, because back when I was originally playing, before I started DMing, I'd never had a DM that actually used something like that. And I am positive that Matthew Mercer was not the only one who was using a style like that. I mean, I will 100% say he had coined the phrase because of the merchandising of mouse pads, t-shirts, hoodies, of just that say, "How do you want to do this?" And the overall explosion of dungeon tubing and D&D twitching, because of Critical Role and other successful Dungeons and Dragons YouTubers. I'm not just going to completely accredit it to Critical Role, but as I said in my last video, Critical Role is probably the biggest influence that has caused this influx of new players to join Dungeons and Dragons. Before then, it was still Dungeons and Dragons, and tabletop gaming was still that awkward social nerdiness to it, to where it was like you had to know a guy that knew a guy that has a Dungeons and Dragons game, and you had to hopefully get into it. And it was a little more difficult, I think, to get into a Dungeons and Dragons game, in my opinion, because I've always had the same gaming group, and it's always been the same people. We've never really had new people. I never heard really of any other people in my area at the time playing Dungeons and Dragons, and not to say that there wasn't. You just don't ever really hear about it because not a lot of people talk about it. And now that there's this huge influx of success that everybody's talking about it now, everybody wants to try Dungeons and Dragons. Well, not everybody, but a whole lot more. We're getting to that point to where it's like a completely normal thing. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just like a more commonplace thing to say, "Oh, I play Dungeons and Dragons." And like I was saying before, the "how do you want to do this thing" trait that Matthew Mercer uses to allow his players to be more descriptive within combat and making the killing blow on the boss of the dungeon. It still blows my mind, because I don't know why, or I never thought of something like this before, or why the past DMs I've had never used it, because it makes sense. It gives that sense of accomplishment that you get to decide how a killing blow is made on a dragon or a large beholder, or any other large beast. So when you're a hero in a party, you would like to describe how you would want to eliminate it, not necessarily let the DM just say, "All right, you made the final slash," and it falls on the ground dead. And that's not as exciting to watch, but it's still acceptable. But before Critical Role, it wasn't such a huge thing that I heard of, and it's amazing to me, and I'm just glad that it happened, to be quite honest. Pretty much that's really all I have to say today. Just something I was thinking about earlier today, or yesterday at work, and I was thinking about how incredible it was. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you really like this channel, give me a subscribe. I'm a brand new Dungeon Tuber. I'm trying to see if I can get something going. I've already had a good response with my first video, and I 100% appreciate all the people who have watched it, and especially appreciate it for those who subscribed. And to sign off this video, I just want to say one thing: no matter what you do, do it for the XP. Have a good day.